Good afternoon, everyone present today. Amity University Tashkent welcomes you to the third edition of the International Conference on Technological Advancements in Computational Sciences, organized by Amity University in Tashkent in technical partnership with the IEEE Kazakhstan subsection. We are proud and feel blessed to put forward another milestone, another accomplishment by Amity University in Tashkent in the form of another edition of a prestigious IEEE International Conference. It has become possible only with the kind blessings and visionary leadership of our Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, sir, that we have been able to work in this direction of global collaboration and research, and we are presenting the results to you. We also wish to acknowledge with gratitude the inspiring and dynamic leadership of our respected Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, sir, and our trustee, Mr. Amol Chauhan, sir, Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, sir, Group Vice Chancellor, Amity Universities. The first edition of this conference in 2021 was on the theme of technological advancements and developments, which received an overwhelming response in many research papers. Delegates joined from all around the globe and graced the occasion. Taking that legacy ahead, last year, in the second edition, in the year 2022, we had a panorama of research coming from the globe. It was not just research papers, but keynote speakers, session chairs, workshop mentors who took charge of the conference from all around the globe and added to the glory of the event.
A vision of MIT Education Group is to cultivate a culture of research and innovation. And this is what Dr. Ashok Kumar Chauhan, sir, founder, president, MIT, has given to us a motto. Here we are with the third edition of ICTACS 2023. And this is the year filled with more commitments and more research coming in the conference, with diversified track of presentation to take place during these 3 days. To begin with the session one, we are having our first keynote speaker with us, Dr. Prashant Jamwal, sir, Professor, School of Engineering and Design Sciences, Nazarbayev University, Astana, Kazakhstan. He is also the adjunct professor of University of Canberra, Australia. Dr. Prashant Jamwal has obtained his PhD degree and postdoc fellowship from University of Auckland, New Zealand. Prior to this, he did his MTech from IIT India and secured first position in all the disciplines. Dr. Prashant Jamwal is pursuing his research in robotics, artificial intelligence, multi-objective evolutionary optimization, biomedical engineering, and renewable energy. Over the past decade, he has applied his research in the development of medical robots for rehabilitation and surgical applications, besides developing improved algorithm for cancer data analytics. Professor Prashant Jamwal has received 3 prestigious World Bank grants and has launched 2 startup companies and established a center of excellence in medical research and robotics. Lately, he has commercialized an autonomous robotic GAT rehabilitation system after furnishing all the regulatory requirements and thus making expensive medical robot accessible to small clinics. Dr. Prashant Jamwal has more than 25 years of teaching and research experience, and he has published more than 100 research articles in reputed national, international journals and conferences. Professor Prashant Jamwal has won many prestigious awards such as Jewel of India, Asian University Alliance Scholar Award, Best Paper Awards, and many more. In 2019, United Nations acknowledged one of his robotic projects in the top 20 innovative projects in the world. Dr. Prashant Jamwal is working as editor for many international journals, including Journal of Biomechatronics and Biorobotics, and he is also working as a reviewer of many international journals and conferences of repute. Dr. Prashant Jamwal led many international funded projects and has so far received many grants worth more than $9 million, including prestigious World Bank grants. So with this brief introduction of Dr. Prashant Jamwal, I would like to invite Dr. Prashant Jamwal to share his experience and enlighten us with his knowledge of wisdom. Please welcome Dr. Prashant Jamwal. Sir, please.
Respected dignitaries and faculty and students. So I'm sorry if it bothered you, this long citation about me, but it helps us, knowing each other well. And so you will have access to my contacts. I mean, I'm talking about the students. You will have access to my contacts like email and maybe phone number as well. You can WhatsApp me also. So if you guys have any question after this, you will have access to everything and you'll be able to reach out to me. So this is my brief introduction. Can we have the slides again, please? Yeah. So you already have had my brief introduction. Maybe can I take 2 minutes to quickly go through one slide where I have a brief introduction about the Nazarbayev University where I come from? Can you go to the next slide, please? And next again, and then it has, are you able to play this?
Welcome to Nazarbayev University, a modern and rapidly developing university located in the heart of Eurasia. Nazarbayev University aims at education of the new generation of leaders of the country in science, technology, enterprise, medicine, public administration, and education. Nazarbayev University has a unique infrastructure. Thanks to a wide range of services and opportunities, we strive to create a thriving community where everyone can live, learn, develop new ideas, grow in a personal and professional way, and of course, enjoy life. There are 9 buildings of the university, with a total area of 100,000 square meters, which connects one large atrium with a tropical garden. The university has research centers. They are equipped with modern laboratories and high-tech equipment. The centers conduct research in the field of renewable energy, physics, and high-energy technologies and medicine. The university library has the largest English language collection of information resources in the country. It provides free access to more than 57 full-text scientific databases, to more than 1 million articles from popular scientific journals. In the knowledge repository, you can find those books that are not in all Kazakhstan and the CIS countries. Nazarbayev University campus is devoted to help students, faculty, and staff experience the full scope of university life. Cafes, canteens, shops, laundries, all these help students to focus on studying in the most comfortable environment. Sport is an integral part of student life at Nazarbayev University. Nazarbayev University Sports Center is a 6,000 plus square meter multi-sport complex open for NU community. Gyms, football fields, tennis courts, Olympic-sized swimming pool, and much more. Senate Hall is the venue for particularly important events. For example, PRC Chairman Xi Jinping, British Prime Minister Tony Blair, and many other prominent personalities spoke here. Nazarbayev University is an internationally recognized research university whose principle is the integration of education, science, and innovation.
Thank you. So the purpose of showing this video to you was to, it's kind of an invitation to you guys to come over to Nazarbayev University for your further studies. You're most welcome there. This is about our research performance. Within 10 years of time, this university has done a tremendous progress and has acquired a unique place in world's top 500 universities worldwide. So to prove ourselves, we actually enter into this next slide, please. This Times Higher Education ranking. So can we have next slide, please? Sorry. For the next. And so within 10 years of time, a university can reach to this kind of ranking. It's quite a unique example. And it's a motivation for MIT University further. So I'll quickly talk about how artificial intelligence and robotics, they are helping medicine and helping in transforming the way medicine is being practiced these days. So I'll talk about the kind of robots that we normally use for medicine, and then we'll also quickly talk about some application of AI. Next slide, please. So to your surprise, you would be astonished. I mean, you'll be surprised to know that 1/3 of world's population would require rehabilitation at certain point of their age. So rehabilitation means someone who has become disabled or less able, and then we are trying to cure this person, and we're trying to treat this person. The process of treating disabilities is called rehabilitation. And in one of the reports says that 2.4 billion people would need such rehabilitation, which is 1/3 of the entire world's population. And so we don't have so many doctors. We don't have good treatment protocols. We need definitely help from the technology. And so the technology that we've been developing over is an example of how medicine can be benefited. For instance, if there's a person who cannot kind of walk, there are people who cannot walk after stroke or something like they become disabled. Now, to make them learn again to walk, doctors, they have to make them walk on the treadmill like this. Now, hanging a person and then moving legs by hands is not easy. And then again, taking them off the bed and putting onto the wheelchair is again a very tricky part, right? So definitely we need technology. Next slide, please. Can we have next slide? Yeah. So there's the technology which is called wearable robots. And so these are basically three kinds of. Those who have amputated limbs, we use these bionics. There are people who need rehabilitation, for instance. So for them, we use exoskeletons to move their limbs and give them this therapy. And there are third kind of, which are called prosthetics. So these bionics that you see, they are actuated one, but if they are not motorized, we call them prosthetics. Next slide. So there are various examples of it. I'll not take much of your time, so I'll be browsing through these slides very quickly. And I'll only stop by where it is required. So when we use such kind of robotic devices with human, we try to use some biosensors and take feedback from what the person is trying to communicate. So we use, for instance, this EEG or EMG in assessing people's capabilities. Next, please. Next. Now, when you talk about exoskeleton, you may not understand what exoskeleton is, right? So inside our body, we have a skeleton, right? Okay, so that is called endoskeleton. And if you have it outside, it will be called exoskeleton. So this exoskeleton is attached to the limbs to help us move our limbs, right? Okay, so because, but there's a problem. Our human joints are special. They are not revolute joints. But the robot, they normally have revolute joints, right? And so if you attach a robotic hand, with my hand, probably I won't be able to rotate it nicely. I mean, when I move it, so my elbow will not remain aligned with the robot's elbow, right? And so for that, what we do is we figure out how human joints they move. So this is the MRI picture of knee joint. This is the femoral condyle, and this is tibial plateau where it rotates. And we created similar joints in our robot. To next slide, please. We created similar joints in our robots to mimic human-like actuation. Next slide, please. So this is one of the examples. Now, our hands, when we move, how they are moved, the muscles around these joints, they get contracted or extended. And so we're trying to find out actuators which would behave quite similar to our muscles. And we found these actuators. These are rubber pipes. When they're inflated, they shrunk. When you deflate, they extend, right? So in one of our robotic systems, we even used actuators that look like our human muscles. Next, please. Next slide. So over the time, we have developed few robotic systems. So if you want to see what different kinds of robots can be used for healthcare, so they can be assistive or rehabilitation robots to treat disabilities. Then we can have service robots or cognitive or social robots to help patients, to keep patients engaged. And we can have surgical robots to perform the surgical operations autonomously. And then there are micro or nano robots that can be administered, that can be given orally to patients. And then we can control them from outside and can take these robots inside, these micro robots inside the body to release the medicine where exactly we want it to be released. So we have over the time developed few. Maybe next slide. So this is an example of a rehabilitation system where we have exoskeleton, and then there are other peripherals like gaming, visualization, biosensors. So it's a complete system that helps disabled people, stroke people, stroke survivors getting treated. Next, please. I think we can use that. This is for the ankle joint. We made one such kind of robot for specifically ankle joint. Next, please. Okay. Yeah. Next. I think we can go next. Yeah. So this is another kind of, see, I was talking about the special knee joint here. And this is one other kind of robotic system. Probably I'll show you in some videos. Next, please. Once again. I think we can just keep browsing. Because initially I thought probably we'll have more time, but we just said, so next, please. Next. Yeah, don't have to show. Next. Yeah, you can show this. So this is one of the systems that helps paralyzed people on. Good cost. You know, if you purchase a commercialized robot like this, it costs $400,000. Develop in the university environment and can find industry, local industry, and then they can be a model for the line. This is another kind of robotic system to move the human legs. Maybe is there a video here that you can play? So it requires only one motor to make it move. The entire leg moves with just one motion. It's a special mechanism which is called mechanism. Next, please. Likewise, we have made robots for hand movements, wrist movements. Here, it's a robotic system that would move wrist around. So when people get stroke, they become paralyzed. And so their treatment has to start from the wrist joint. This is something strange, but the treatment of paralyzed people, it starts from their wrist joint. And so that's the first robot that we use with the patients. And then we go on this, another robot for their elbow and shoulder. And then we take them to the treadmill to walk on to get their lower limbs corrected. Next, please. I think we can just keep on moving. Next. Further next. Maybe next slide. Okay, go previous, please. Sorry. The previous one. One more. Yeah. Okay, is there a slide? Can you go one more? Once again, I mean, prior to this was this. Okay, fine. Sorry. So next slide. This is a very next, please. So it's a very interesting system. It's an autonomous robot that can fix fractured limbs, fractured bones, rather. So, for instance, this femur bone, it's a strongest bone in our body and then it's surrounded by strongest muscles like quads and hamstrings. So when a femur bone, it gets fractured, so the bone fragments would go into one another. Okay. So when a bone gets fractured, when you fall down or something happens to you, meet an accident, whatever, after a fracture, the bones would go like this. Why the bones would go like this? Because there are muscles around and these muscles are elastic. They are pulling. Okay. Now, what doctors will do, they would pull it and then they would align it. Okay. So when they pull it, it's called traction. And then when they align, it's called reduction. Okay. Traction and alignment. So we thought of creating a robotic system that can do these two functions together because presently, doctors do it manually. There's a table and the two tables are moved manually. So they overstretch. When they overstretch, the soft tissues get damaged. Some doctors are smart. They know that if they overstretch it, they're going to damage these soft tissues. So they would not do it. They would just leave it here. So when this calcification will happen, the joint is anyway going to be connected, right? But in turn, the person's one leg has become shorter. So the person's walking style will be changed. So this robotic system can do it autonomously. There's a C-type this X-ray machine that does fluoroscopy and autonomously with visually controlled algorithm that runs the robot and it aligns it. Next slide, please. Yeah, so once the robot, the fractured bone fragments are aligned together, these pins are removed, these intramedullary nails are left inside and the robot is extracted. So so these are a few robotic projects that are helping, hospitals in Astana. We are working with one hospital there. And then the other thing is artificial intelligence. Okay. So there we're working with cancer, trying to discriminate between different types of cancers. And the process we are doing image processing and also trying to extract knowledge from the experts. So in a sense, in summarizing everything, what I'm trying to say is that the medicine field is greatly enhanced. It's greatly supported by these two, robotics technology and the artificial intelligence technology. And so you guys have a lot of potential there. If you would like to pursue such kind of career, you should know there are potential applications in medicine, and you can actually reach out to many people and help everyone. So there is something interesting I thought you would like to. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was indeed a very informative session, and I'm sure that you gathered maximum out of it, my dear students. The lovely audience is now invited for questions. Anyone who's interested in putting across a question to our expert? Sure, sir. I can see our Professor Gaurav reaching out for a question.
Good afternoon, sir. Actually, it's very informative session. Just I saw the one slide for the medical robots for neurodevelopment disorders. Like I work for autism and mentally retarded persons. So was just want to know how that, like, we are very short of caregivers for these type of child, or you can say children's, small children's. So you have something like this, like that there is some computer who engaging the student, getting these type of children who are suffering from autism or intellectual disability.
Yes, we had created a humanoid before. So there are service robots, and I think there are two big companies in Korea. They are manufacturing these service robots for hospitals.
Or
Yeah. So yeah, it's very interesting to see that these service robots, they look like human. They walk around. They can be used for elderly care, like old age homes, and they also use for children in their hospitals. Yeah.
But again, these are a whole robot is, everyone can't afford it. Some software sort of things that people can install in their phones or laptops, and these children will sit with these gadgets, because they are very familiar with these gadgets instead of humans.
Right. You're right. I mean, these robotic systems marketed by Korean companies are very expensive.
Yeah.
And we can really create, all you need is, what you can do is you get a mannequin, very cheap, right? And then with 2 or 3 motors, you can make the entire top part moving. And I don't think it will take much longer to develop such kind of a system, I think we can do it within a month to create such kind of a robot that can entertain children, and yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thanks,
Cheers.
sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, we have question there. Yeah.
Yes, the young audience waiting there. What is your question?
Good afternoon. And I have a question about this system. As I heard before, like a lot of people are implanting legs or arms if they have some problems with their own, but it's not always like going right, or they have some problems because their body are determining the implants or the system. What about your systems?
So it is very important to see how much part of the hand or the leg has been cut out. And then we need to look at the profile of the end part that is remaining, and then we create a replica of it, of course. But then there's a lot of optimization to it. See, if not everyone can do everything, right? And so when we design these things, we find out what are the contact areas and how the pressure would be how the contact forces would be distributed. We call them pressure, actually. And so we call it socket, and we design in such a way. So, and there's an optimization algorithm that runs behind it using AI, and that gives us the shape exactly that will distribute the entire force evenly. If it is not distributed evenly, then definitely there will be pain and inconvenience. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. One more question from our head of the department, Dr. Sarolia, sir. He is eager to question, sir. Please.
Sir, it's just a kind of like a very simple thing. Like when we are doing artificial intelligence and when we are going to implement some model, we are basically basically working on data set, and we found it for train our model, and then testing can be done. And so many data are available nowadays, open source. But the problem comes when we are going to think about some embedded system and implementing such kind of artificial intelligence in robotics related things, because problem is new. Then at the time, how we can get the data to train our model, and then testing can be done. This is a kind of like our young researchers are facing this type of problem. Can you please show some pathway for us to work on it?
I never faced such problem of not having data, but I can tell you where AI comes into picture in my robotic systems. So the robot path planning, for instance, right? And then this robot is attached with human limbs. So if you know about uh, control theory, so something that we are trying to control is our plant, right? So in our case, the robot and the human limb both coupled together becomes something that we are controlling. So when I'm moving, let's say I'm moving the joint of the robot, and if it attached with my hand, right? So the total stiffness would be my hand's stiffness and also robot stiffness, right? So I should know what is my hand's stiffness, for instance. Right? It is very difficult because the stiffness of a mechanical joint, it remains constant always. But when it comes to human body, our joints, they have variable stiffness. So there we use AI, and so we try to create data. There may be instances where you have very less amount of data, then you do go for data augmentation. You can use GANs and these kind of algorithms. But then there are applications where you don't have data at all. Then we go for unsupervised learning, and we try to find out key parameters and a relation between them.
Thank you, sir. And even the topic was so interesting that even during your presentation, what I realized that if our students who wants to work in this automated prosthetic equipment segment as an entrepreneur, so they must not have only the knowledge of programming, artificial machine learning are not significant, but they must also know bit of robotics, mechanical parts, as well as electronics too. Yeah. So I have received few questions from as we prepared this planning for this conference. So I have received few questions from our faculty also. So there is a one question, sir, that how has the integration of artificial intelligence and robotics improve patients' outcome in medical practice, particularly in related to the complex surgeries and procedures like that?
Yeah, I mean, so for instance, I can give you my example of robots. We use it for three purposes. One is for research. We want to see how, physical therapy is given by therapists. Conventionally, they were giving manually. So there are certain protocols, treatment protocols. We want to translate those protocols into robot-assisted protocols. Now, it's very, very difficult. I should know what force I should provide from the robot to target a particular muscle group, for instance, right? So that kind of relation between what robotic force and motion can affect a particular muscle group, coming out with such kind of a relation is a very intense research topic. We use these platforms for treatment of patients, and then we use the same platforms for the diagnosis and assessment. So we have to carry out diagnosis and assessment at every stage to see whether the person is improving or not. And artificial intelligence helps us in all these stages, actually, conducting research, finding a mapping between, if, for instance, we figured out that if we apply a force in frontal plane, there's a particular muscle, it's called gluteus maximus or gluteus medius. Gluteus medius, it gets more activation, for instance. And then we could relate it to a disease, which is called pelvis obliquity. Some people, they walk like this, like this. So they have this pelvic obliquity problem. We figured out that this is because of the weak gluteus medius muscles. And in order to treat this weak gluteus medius muscle, we figure out what kind of intervention is required. So AI helps in every stage like this. And then when I work with, of course, you talked about where knowledge of various disciplines is required. And so this is truly, most of the areas these days are truly interdisciplinary, because when I design a robotic system, I should have mechanical engineering knowledge, design knowledge. When I do instrumentation, I should have electrical. When I power it, I should have electrical knowledge. When I design the instrumentation, I should have instrumentation knowledge. When I design the boards, circuit boards, I should have electronics engineering information. When I do database and analysis, I should have computer science background. And then so much so that I have RAs working with me, research assistants who are from economics background. There's a professor from psychology. This guy works with me on studying how the robots are affecting patient psychology, for instance. So we touch almost all the disciplines. We work with medicine, School of Medicine, School of Engineering, School of Sciences. So, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, that was a session of information, for students and for the faculty members. Moving ahead with the entire schedule, the second keynote speaker for the day is Dr. Karim Bekov Yerzkhan, Vice Rector for Research and Innovation, South Kazakhstan State Pedagogy University, Kazakhstan. Sir has worked as a teacher at the Department of Mathematics at Yasani University. In 2009-10, he has worked as a specialist in the science department of Yasavi University. In 2011 and 2017, Sir has given his precious time at Science Department of Ghazi University. He is a member of National Academy of Natural Sciences at Kazakhstan. He has been awarded as the best young scientist of Turkestan region 2020. He was an expert of the Ministry of Education and Science at the Republic of Kazakhstan, the National Scientific and Technical Expertise Center. He has been an independent expert of the Assembly of Parliaments of Turkish-speaking countries. We welcome Sir with a huge round of applause to carry forward the session for the afternoon. Warm welcome, Sir.
Yes, good afternoon for everyone. Can you repeat my slides? So, again, good afternoon to everyone. I try to explain my topic in simple words. So, my topic is use of machine learning in education. I came from the pedagogical university. We are, as a university, as a higher education institution, preparing only the teachers. So let's imagine that we are preparing the teachers during the last 70 years. And the main problem, not the problem, issue is the teachers, we're saying they're specialists, yeah? But every year we are graduating about more than 1,000. And the main issue, as a top manager, I'm thinking, what's the level of the teachers? Are they the same? Are they all of them, our graduates achieve their learning outcomes that we are putting in our educational program? What's the level of them? Okay, during the education 4 years, we applying a lot of the assessments, kind of the exams, the research project, defense, and so on. But what about the skills? What about the soft skills? Because this is the teachers. They go to the schools and teach our child, yeah? And we decided to, how it say, use machine learning. Why? Because during the 70 years, we gather the data about the students, about our alumni. And there are a lot of the data. For example, in every semester, we are collecting about the more than 100,000 exam details. So all the data are collecting in our servers by our LMS systems. So we decided to use all this data to analyze them. For what? To do our education quality better. The first goal is. The second is to assess, to evaluate what's the education program quality of our university. you know, it is not the secret. All the universities saying that their own education program is the best. And all the students have to come to this institution. So we want to check it in practice. Can we put there is a lot of the theoretical part. The next, please. I want to, so in this way. So the main point is the best, the one of them is the real-time performance to how assess the real-time exams students. And the second is to enhance the quality. Why we're using the machine learning in education. The third is the predict the expectation. For example, in UK, the main problem is the dropout of the students. So the same problem we have in our university. After the first year, we are predicting, and for example, in everywhere, we're how would say recruiting about 1,000 students, and how many of them will go, how would say, graduate our universities in the same level with the high quality, with all the skills that we want. But by using the machine learning, we can predict after the first year. This is the main point, one of them. So if they cannot achieve, for example, after the 3-4 years, the learning outcomes that we want, what's the problem? How we can find out what's the problem which every students? And another one of the big problem, as you know, our students come from the different part of the world. In our institution, it is the different part of Kazakhstan, with the different backgrounds, with the different, how it's a language level, with the different level of the science. But what we do, we all collect all of them, put the one class, giving the same, how it's materials, and expecting the same results from all of them. This is the main issue, you know? And we want to find out, for example, if one students have problem with the reading, for example, or maybe with the academic writing, and we cannot sit and check all the results of student one by one. And we need this kind of technology to make it productive. The next one, please. Next, please, a lot of the theoretical. Next one. Next, please. Next. So, please wait. And the main benefits of applying the machine learning in education is, the first is accurate assessment. As you know, and most of universities to do, how it's say, use the paper grading system. We call it, I guess, an open-ended exam system also again. So you can imagine that, for example, 100 students, even the professors, the best trained professors, it's hard to sit and evaluate it, assess all of them. And you have to check not only the, how it's say, the knowledge, you have to check also the creation, what kind of the solution he's, how it's say, thinking about. So all of this is very hard to do by person. The first thing is this one. The second, as I said, the predictive analytics. This is very important things in our universities. There's third is high customization. You know, generally, when we have a lot of the data, the personalization, the personalization of education, even the medical services is very important. All the machine learning is used to now is how it's applying, approving a lot of the applications to give the personal services for each customer. What else? The feedback for learners. We saw a lot of problems from in the end of our research. For example, one student said that he he has a lot of the ambitions, but he couldn't find enough materials to understand this. What does it mean? It means that generally we are preparing the same how it's a curriculum for everyone, not taking account his own how it's say abilities or special characteristics of students. And because of and this one is shows us that, for example, we have in Kazakhstan the Nazarbayev intellectual schools. In these schools, the materials, or how it's say disciplines which we are giving in the first semester, they generally took in the schools. So when they come to the university, we again give the same disciplines, and they motivated. They don't want to, how it's a, go to the same class again. And what is after the year, almost we lost this student. Why? Because they don't want to see the same class again. So if we have the education platform based on machine learning, we can suggest them new thing. He can, according to his experience, this new platform can give the new things, new materials, even the new discipline. It's have to be optional. Okay. Also, the administrative tasks and the automation is very important in terms of the huge LMS system, as you know. Broad audience and high inclusivity, as I mentioned. Next, please. Here is the definition and general explanation. For example, as I want to say, in China, over the 60,000 colleges and universities are now implementing the paper grading system. It is the huge work. And we have to use the machine learning in this kind of the examination to accurate the assessment. Next, please. Generally, please, next. Here is the theoretical part. Next. Next one. Wait a second, please. So, for example, we have a lot of the individuals with the, they need more video materials, more audio materials, even the text materials. So by using this machine learning, we can to do our teaching quality better. Next one. So 1 second. So I put there the few examples of the using. This is the general example, but this one, it is very important. See, method box, it is the real system, online education platform based in artificial intelligence, which is now applying in Bahçeşehir University in Istanbul. So what they do by this platform, they give for options for students, for teachers, for parents. And by taking feedbacks from 3 sides, they can the system can provide the personal path for every student, taking account parents' feedback, students' feedback, and teachers' feedback. This is the best example, I think. So this is the general was, how the Grammarly works and the EdCore works. So I want, as a last, I want to share my own experience in my university. So last year we won the one research project. What we do now, we are collected data from last 5 years. It was about the 2 GB. There are a lot of the data from students' background, where they come from, what's their social status, and so on. And all the best alumni results we use for as an ideal, how it's a solution. And we want to, how it's a, to check. So as a one side, we have the best alumni as with the best results, with the best learning outcomes, 500 students. Also, we have about 2,000 students as a first coming students. So as you know, machine learning, how it works. We have the ideal solution and we have the test samples as a first coming students. We want to predict what kind of the extra mobility abilities, extra skills these first coming students have that to achieve the best alumni models. And we want to check, we are now trying to build the best model of, and as a result, what we're expecting from this model, every new students, first come students, we put for this model, and it will give us for every student what kind of extra, maybe he have to learn more science, or maybe he have to learn more the length, so prediction. And this is our goal. And we, as a result, as I said, we're expecting that the best model will be built and gives us for every student their own path will be built and given by the system. And we will, as a managers, we will check all of them. And the second goal is to assess that every education program are the best in pedagogical fields, of course. Thank you very much. If you have the question.
So session is open for question answer. Students, do you have any question? Is there any question from the student side? Okay. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the presentation. And my question is about, like, as you know, if you remember in the morning, we had a conversation about that AI, like, as you know, the machine learning is a part of AI, right? So, and my question is, no, in the morning, we had a conversation that AI can replace some of the jobs in the future, right? So, and, you know, like, when new jobs created by AI and some of the jobs will disappear, and those people who actually can adapt to those, like to jobs that created by AI, and what about like others? Like there are lots of people who actually like, let's say, technophobes, right? Who are not good at using cutting edge technology, right? What's your prediction about the future, and what kind of measures government can take about that?
Okay, thank you. I think it is a good question. So, as one of the panel session members said, we can't say that artificial intelligence, it is very dangerous or some kind of the thing that we can refuse, or how it's say, accept and do not, how it's say, nothing with the to use in the different fields. Artificial intelligence in every field, and in the future, the use of artificial intelligence in the difference, even the education we started to use. So the ChatGPT, it is one of the example. So I think as a government, in Kazakhstan, I can say, in Kazakhstan, our government made decision that the discipline artificial intelligence will be included in every education program in the higher education institutions. Why? Because after the 20 years, every, how it's say, citizen in Kazakhstan, maybe in every workers or employees in different fields, at least have to have the main concepts, how the artificial intelligence is working, how to deal with them. So you are right that new job places will be created, but also some job places will be closed. Okay, but we have to shift for the new places, for the new markets, for the new fields, industry even. In Kazakhstan, we have a big shortage in data analysis. It's true. I think in all the Central Asia region, this is the same situation. Why? We are saying that artificial intelligence is everywhere, but we don't have enough specialists in these fields. And all the things, even this MIT University, I think that tries to prepare the more specialists in these fields. And when they're preparing, the specialists will continue. I think the next 20 years, there will be a lot of the new spaces where and other people can work. So I think we have to widely try to explain what is the artificial intelligence, not only in higher education institutions, even in schools, the primary schools. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Is there any other question from the students side? No. Sir, there is one question that I observed from your, like as you have shown the example that in China, over 60,000 colleges, they are going to use the artificial intelligence and machine learning for grading and assessments. While as a teacher, when we are doing the evaluation and grading, we keep a lot of aspects, step by step evaluation, how much is, and we analyze on the basis of that how much students adapt the learning. So when we are going to use AI and machine learning for grading and evaluation, what do you think that what will be the challenges in the perfect grading, or you can say the honest grading by that system?
Okay. Generally, we are. You are right, but this is the ideal case, when the professors looking for the different part of the answers, different aspects of the answer. Okay, but in practice, it is not happening in this way. Generally, most of the the papers are evaluated with the common template. For example, the enough words or the special words, I don't know, a lot of the things. But the artificial intelligence, I think we can, in the simple sample, I can give in this way. For example, in object-oriented programming, we have, for example, give for students 1,000 words material, okay? And we ask the one question, and they write about the 200 words answer, give us. So how we evaluate this? If they use the keywords, they have to have used the keywords about, for example, from 250, it's okay. For example, they have the knowledge and they that this answer is okay, but not every professor will count this, but machine learning will. It is the simple example, I think. And machine learning, it is the main ability of machine learning technologies. They can learn. They can learn with every new sample. So, as I said, we have the data about the students and the alumni during last 70 years. This is the huge data. And of course, there is a lot of the irrelevant data. There are a lot of the unstructured data, but If you find out the right model and what we are now trying to do, this will be best model. For example, you have the new students, first coming students every year. What do you do? Take this model, give these students with all the parameters, and the model gives you the best path for these student, each student. But no, for example, in Kazakhstan, no one of the universities should apply this kind of thing. What we do, as I said, we put all of them for the one class with a different background, with a different, how it's say, language level, and expect the same results from it. And this is the, how it's say, important point, I think. And for me, I think that machine learning, if we'll be trained with the enough and real data, it gives us the best results than the professors, I think. Thank you. That's all.
So, thank you, Dr. Yerjan, sir. And I hope your title of the talk, the uses of the machine learning in a higher education, it has already opened a new window for our IT graduates over here, that they are having a lot of problems. Even a lot of, when you was delivering the talk, a lot of new problems comes in the mind, that why not the students can design this kind of the system based on the machine learning to make the evaluation more and more perfect. And like in the last, you said one example that what exactly the student needs to learn. If we can create that kind of the model, so that we can identify that, okay, what exactly the student needs to learn. So these, I'm sure that my students, they got new project ideas with your talk. And with this, thank you very much, sir, to enlighten us with your knowledge and word of wisdom. Now, the next keynote speaker for the day is Dr. Rajendra Kumar. And Dr. Rajendra Kumar is an associate professor at the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, School of Engineering and Technology, Sharda University in India. Dr. Kumar has about 25 years of the teaching experience in various technical institutions of in India, like in various states like Uttar Pradesh, Chandigarh. He is the editor of various journals like ADI Journal of Recent Innovation, Indonesia. And he is the reviewer of the Medical and Biological Engineering and Computing Journal, which is a journal of Springer, as well as he is the reviewer of the Expert System with Application, which is a refereed international journal of elsewhere. He has contributed as an international e-Delphi panel expert in the project developing an electrical self-regulated lifelong learning model in the era of IR4, funded by the Fundamental Research Grant Scheme, VIII Open University, Malaysia. He has chaired many sessions in the various international conferences, and he has delivered keynote talk in various invited conferences. He has published more than 5 textbooks, 4 edited books, and 10 conference proceedings. He has 3 patents in his name. He has published more than 40 national and international papers in various papers in national and international journals, 4 book chapters, and presented many papers in national and international conferences held in India, Singapore, UAE, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, and Philippines. The area of research of Dr. Rajendra includes theoretical computer science, hard and soft computing, human-computer interaction. So today, Dr. Rajendra is going to give his talk on generative artificial intelligence. So I would like to welcome Dr. Rajendra Kumar, sir, please.
Thank you very much, MIT University, Taskan, and organizing committee of International Conference, ICTACS, for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts on generative AI, past, present, and the future. Next slide, please. So I will be discussing on introductory part of artificial intelligence, AI versus generative AI, large language model, generative AI revolution and AI war, and finally, future of generative AI. Next slide, please. So the concept of artificial intelligence is not new. It was thought in decade of 1950. So Alan Turing, that is the big name in computer science, he presented a paper on computer machinery and intelligence. And that time, first time the term intelligence was used for machines. John McCarthy presenting something on artificial intelligence. And basically this name was given by John McCarthy and it was used first time in the history of computer. So it was a workshop at Dartmouth College, USA in 1956. And after that, so many things in the theory developed, experimented, but the practical applications of artificial intelligence took too much time to come in the market. So whenever we talk about artificial intelligence, we talk about Turing test. So Turing test is nothing but simply, it is a statement like, can machine be intelligent enough to work like human being? So if some system, some machine is able to pass the Turing test, it means it is artificially intelligent. So if we talk about the application of ordinary artificial intelligence, three major categories are there. So artificial intelligence is used for classification purpose, prediction purpose, and the clustering purpose. And they use different machine learning and deep learning algorithm for the purpose. So making the system to use intelligence, so it is nothing but simply the traditional artificial intelligence. Okay, so when artificial intelligence is there, then its subset is machine learning, and after that deep learning is there. So machine learning and deep learning algorithms are used by generative AI also, but in different manner. So generative AI model, basically these are large language model which are trained using the transformer architecture and millions of words. So large language model, these are having large amount of data, and based on the feedback, they improve their results again and again. So what kind of feedback they get? So they just improve their results in the future. So generative AI is different from the traditional artificial intelligence in the sense it generates images, text, video, sound, and other information. And in comparison to this, ordinary AI simply perform three different operations like classification, clustering, like this. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So as discussed earlier, normal artificial intelligence provide three kind of outputs: prediction, classification, and clustering. And just opposed to this, generative AI is there. Generative AI generates and work on the different models. Generally, two different kind of models are there which are popular, and majorly the model that is used is large language model. Second one is image based, but it is rarely used. In majority of the generative AI applications, the model large language model is used. ChatGPT and Google Bard, these are the typical examples of this particular technology. Large language model is a model, and different platforms are using different LLM. For example, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Facebook, they are having their own large language models, and accordingly they are trained for the said purposes. Large language model, it uses huge amount of information for the training purpose. And generally, if it is in the form of text, millions of words are there, and accordingly, the models are trained. So different platforms can develop their own large language models to generate the data, depending upon what kind of platform they are and for what purpose they are generating the information. Lambda, it is the large language model that is developed by Google in 2021. So in Google search engine, it is being used at the large level. Facebook Meta, these also use large language model Meta AI. And another is image based, that is not emphasized more in the practical part. So majority of the applications are working on large language models. Yes, next slide, please. So what actually large language model means? So it is advanced type of language model. It is trained using the deep learning techniques on massive amount of data. Mass amount of data is there so that it can generate huge amount of information from different sources. Large language models are trained over large amount of data, and they use the concept of self-supervised learning. It means based on their experience, they improve their results in the future. Self-supervised learning uses the machine learning algorithm to analyze input and to predict the next token. All of us have seen in case of Google search engine, whenever we type something to search on the Google, we just try to enter the first keyword. Then so many options appeared. Might be we are looking for any of these. So it is nothing but simply the next tokens. So next tokens are generated using the concept of self-supervised learning. So Google, Meta, etc. Everything has enough data to train large language model to generate the new data. So ChatGPT is pre-trained model, which is based on transformer architecture. It was introduced in 2017, and it uses the concept of long short-term memory, that is encoder, and it takes tokens to convert in the form of vector. So we start with artificial intelligence, and we go deeper. Then it is machine learning model. Then finally there are deep learning models. And generative AI, it works with transformers architecture and large language models, along with big data and data science, because for the training purpose, huge amount of data will be required. So generative AI could be based on a kind of neural network called transformer or diffusion models. The transformer architecture is the fundamental building block of all the large language models. Generative AI, umbrella term for the kind of AI that can generate contents based on what is available on different sources, rather than simply analyzing or acting based on the existing data. Such contents are often in the form of image or text, or many times these are also in the form of images and in the form of sound and other kind of informations. Next, please. So large language model is using different techniques, different data from different sources. Also, the data set, which is dedicatedly being used for the training purpose. Generative AI has started to revamp the daily work routines. In many of the applications, it has just shown its effect, but a lot of things are to be done in the future. So from drafting emails to crafting the poetry, LLM-based chatbots like Bard, the product of Google, ChatGPT, these are just making our life easier to do the things very easily and in a short time. However, the performance of any system depends upon how it is trained, because in the future, so many new things are to be added, and accordingly, the performance of such systems will be enhanced. So generative AI is more than just a technology marvel, can be used as a driver of job creation modules in various industries and in many areas whether it is a healthcare or it is wearable healthcare devices or anything else. Everywhere it can be used. And along with the concept of augmented and virtual reality, it can make the things more realistic. So these are different common applications which are available for different purposes. If you are looking for some content generation, ChatGPT is there. So it is open AI service that incorporate conversational chatbot with a large language model. And many of us are just using this technology, this wonderful technology. If we are looking for designing some website, simply we can go for durable tool. It can generate the entire website based on whatever data you provide. If you're looking for good presentation in short time, Gamma tool is there that can create a presentation for you. If you're looking for logo design, Loca tool is there. It can design your logo depending upon what category you are looking for. Research platform, Rose AI is there. However, it is not encouraged in big sense, because if something is generated artificially, it cannot have any novelty. Few months ago, Turnitin software, that is a very common platform used for plagiarism. They just introduced how much AI generated contents are available in the text. Because if something is created artificially, how it can be considered novel? So two aspects are there. One is the similarity report and another is AI generated contents. So ChatGPT is started with the great revolution, and the popularity of this platform is beyond the expectations. And things become possible which looked imaginary in the past. So it was introduced in 2022 November, and in the very first month of its launch, there were 152 million users who hit their target, website, and it is increasing by every month. And if you see the right side, we are having Google Bard in competition to ChatGPT, and by the month of May to June, around 91% of the content generation market was captured by the ChatGPT, and only around 10% market by the Google Bard. But as the time is passing, Google has started to capture the market because of its existence. Next slide, please. Okay, so generative AI revolution and AI war. ChatGPT was expected to overcome Google search engine. It was not expressed by any layman, but by the officials of the Google itself. In the beginning of 2023, the Gmail founder, Paul Buchheit, was doubtful if the Google doesn't create alternative of ChatGPT, it can be out from the market within the next 2 years. So this particular statement created a panic waves inside the Google headquarters. So the Google, who holds the 90% of the search engine market and has been a non-disputed leader since last 2 decades, how anyone can consider that it can be out from the market in next 2 years? 8.5 million search every day by using the Google search engine, 99,000 searches per second, and its net worth $1.15 trillion. So how it can be expected that Google will be out from the market? So Google never thought that the ChatGPT will become a threat for its existence. So Microsoft Bing, that is really used, and not more than 10%. And around 9% to 10% its search engine being used worldwide. And would it be a miracle for the Microsoft and GPT will create a big threat for the Google for its existence, who has been a main leader of search engine since last 20 years. And analysts who were having the optimistic view towards the Google, they were just thinking, yes, the Google will come out with some alternative solution of ChatGPT. On February 8, 2023, Google announced its generative AI tool named as Google Bard. And it is under the testing, and still many improvements are required. And it was launched in May 2023. And at that time, Sundar Pichai and other officials of Google, they conducted a meeting, and they just discussed what different updates can be done recently on Google Bard. And they are just trying to incorporate Google Bard with the other existing products of the Google. And also they are trying to expand this within 182 countries to just gain the popularity and for its own existence. Next, please. So ChatGPT is supposed to be supported by Microsoft. And Microsoft is planning to invest $10 billion with OpenAI. So if this agreement is finalized, then Microsoft will be eligible for 75% of profit and 49% is take to hold. And in that case, it would not be a war of ChatGPT and Bard. It will be a war against Google and Microsoft. So things are not stopped here. At the global level, the China has AI market around 70 to 80%. They are using Baidu and Alibaba. And basically, these are being used at the local level only. It means within the China only. And when these are open for other countries, then it might be a war between China and US. So it is not a human versus AI war. Now it has become AI versus AI war. And time will tell who will be the leader. Next, please. So what generative AI can do for you in the future? Generative AI can generate text for various purposes, can draft and send the emails and other things based on your calendar entries. It can analyze email data so that only appropriate email you would like to see, writing codes more effectively. So everything that ChatGPT and other tools like Google Bard can do. So other tools might also be in the future. Blog writing can be there, email, article, browser, essay, document. Making summary of the emails, articles, analyzing the data for prediction and forecasting, and writing your computer programs or software using the language of your choice. So this was all about from my side. Thank you very much for listening the things so patiently. If any question is there, I will be happy to answer and I will try my best.
So the session is open for the question and answer. Students, do you have any question related to the generative AI? Yes.
Good afternoon, and thank you for this
Very good
interactive presentation. Thank you. I was wondering, you showed us several times the statistics of the usage of Google ChatGPT and Google Bard, and I was wondering, is there any particular reason why ChatGPT rose its popularity while Google Bard didn't?
Google Bard is still in the testing phase, and many things are to be incorporated because only the future will tell who capture the entire market. But at this present, Google Bard is just behind the ChatGPT.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was indeed a session, and I'm sure the audience gathered maximum out of it. It is time to honor the guests for the time they have devoted to our event. And I would request the head of the department, Amity University, Tashkent, IT and Engineering Department specifically, Dr. Anil, to join us on stage. Can we put our hands together and welcome him? Along with him, we have Dr. Sudhanshu joining him over for handing over the felicitations to our honorable guests. So please join us on stage. Students, welcome the dignitaries on the dais. Please put your hands together and welcome the dignitaries. I request Dr. Prashant Jamwal to join us on stage, please. We're so grateful, sir, for your precious time and the valuable information shared with our students for today. Thank you so much, sir. Students, can we put our hands together? Warmly welcome, sir, on stage. Can I expect you to please applaud loudly for sir? Huge round of applause. Thank you. I request Dr. Karim Bekov to please join us on stage. And we are highly grateful that he took time out of his busy schedule and, shared valuable information with the audience for the day. We're highly grateful, sir. Thank you, sir. We're honored, sir. Last but certainly not the least, I request Dr. Rajendra Kumar, sir, to join us on stage. Put your hands together and welcome the guest for the day, please. So the entire team is highly grateful to all the dignitaries who joined us today for this event, and we look forward to further collaborations in near future. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. IT team is now requested to close the Zoom session as the presentations for the event will be held offline, in offline mode. So IT team, please take into consideration to exit the Zoom link out now. Thank you.